Miami is not just a city. It is a state of mind, a place where the sun kisses the skin, but where shadows dance in the alleys of Little Haiti, carrying stories of those who came from distant islands, carrying only dreams and longing. It was there, between streets colored by murals of resistance and the smell of a casan boiling in iron pots, that Dona Celeste planted her roots. A Haitian woman with calloused hands and a wide smile, who arrived in the United States with a child in her arms and a wicker suitcase full of recipes written in Creole. Years later, she would become the invisible foundation of an icon and the protagonist of a story that Hurricane Lazarus almost wiped off the map. Beyoncé Knowles Carter was not born a queen. She was born a girl with frizzy hair that got tangled in the humid Texas wind and who, at age 7, hid in the kitchen cupboard whenever the world got too big. That was where Dona Celeste found her, that summer of 1993, after a school concert where Beyoncé had forgotten the words to respect. While the audience laughed, she fled to the only place that wouldn't judge her, among cold pans and bags of flour. "Girl, are you looking for gold in here?" Dona Celeste joked, lighting a lamp. Her accent, heavy with Haitian hope, filled the space. "Look, I brought you something." In her hands was a tablet of dark chocolate, a rare gift for a family that counted pennies for rent. On my island, we say that chocolate is for courage. Eat it and sing again, but sing as if the world were your stage, even if the stage is a closet. Years later, Beyoncé would use that story in speeches. But that night she cried with the chocolate melting on her tongue, while Dona Celeste hummed Papa Loco, a song to calm restless spirits. Hurricane Lazarus didn't warn. It came like a thief in the middle of the night, tearing off roofs and memories. Dona Celeste, 68, watched from the window of her apartment in Little Haiti as the flood swept away everything. Photos of her dead son, her mother's wedding dress, the recipe book she had hoped to leave to her granddaughter. When the waters receded, all that remained was the silver chain Beyoncé had given her the first Christmas they worked together, still around her neck, like a last thread of hope. Meanwhile, in Ocean View, Beyoncé watched the chaos on TV. Her heart froze when she recognized the flooded street. It was the same path she had taken when she was 15, bringing soup to Dona Celeste when she was sick. She's there, all alone, she thought, her hands shaking. Without notifying her security guards or aides, she got in her car and plunged into the storm. The scene she found would mark her forever. Dona Celeste, sitting on the steps of what had been her house, holding a rusty pot. "I brought your green necklace, Bay. I was afraid I'd lose that too," she said, holding out the necklace like a child offering a broken treasure. Beyoncé didn't say a word. She knelt in the mud, took off her high heels, and stepped into the old cook's sodden boots. "Let's go, Grandma," she whispered, using the nickname only she was allowed to use. Miami, 2024. Under a sky once torn by Hurricane Lazarus, a story of courage and redemption wove its threads. It was a full moon night when the past knocked on Beyoncé Knowles Carter's door, not like a ghost, but like a hungry shark. On an abandoned boat by the sea, the name El Tiburon still bled red ink. And in Little Haiti, an anonymous envelope arrived in the trembling hands of Dona Celeste, the woman who once taught Beyoncé how to transform fear into strength. Inside, a photo cut with a knife, the two of them embracing in the mural that celebrated their victory over the storm. On the back, an ominous promise: "Sharks don't forget." That early morning, Beyoncé and Celeste dug under the shade of a century-old mango tree. "My mother buried secrets like this in Haiti," Celeste whispered, her calloused hands touching a rusty safe. Inside, documents that revealed Carlos's web: fraud, false debts, ruined lives. Beyoncé held the evidence, the dirt sticking to her fingers like memories of her childhood in Texas, where she planted sunflowers with her grandmother and dreamed of being a heroine. "I promise," she swore, not just to the woman in front, but to the little girl who still believed in happy endings. But Carlos didn't wait. At the benefit party celebrating the reconstruction of Little Haiti, he invaded like a predator. Masked men, knives gleaming. Teo, the security guard, fell with a groan. And then, the shark emerged from the shadows, dragging Celeste by the arm. "I've come to take what's mine," he growled. Beyoncé reacted like a street urchin. She ripped off the green necklace, a gift from Celeste, and slashed at his face. Celeste, with the strength of a Haitian grandmother, threw pepper in his eyes, shouting, "Ça qui pas con la mot pas jam respecte la vie." Those who do not know death never respect life. The police arrived, sirens piercing the night, but Carlos whispered one last threat. "Sharks have babies." In the infirmary, under cold lights, Dona Celeste left singing. Ti zuizo, little bird. Her voice a thread of melody that Beyoncé had kept since her days in the closet in fear. The diva collapsed. On the bathroom floor, she broke the mirror with her fists, shards reflecting the child who still needed to be held. In the blood that flowed, an imperfect heart, like the one she had scribbled in her diary when she was 9 years old. Miami cried. That night, she cried for Celeste, and for the Beyoncé the world never knew. But from every tragedy, seeds sprout. In the heart of Little Haiti, the Celeste Center rose up. Walls painted with recipes, rara drums echoing stories of resistance. Beyoncé, barefoot and without makeup, planted a baobab tree where Celeste's house had been swallowed by the river. "It will protect you," she told a girl with braids who wielded a wooden spoon like a sword. Bianca, now with gray hair and a light smile, hugged her. "She is here." And it was true. In the pots of pumpkin soup, in the songs of grandmothers, in the dirt-stained hands of a new generation, Celeste lived on. Under the Miami sun, the baobab tree grew quickly. Its roots wrapped around a sign. Here, even the wind has learned to respect. Beyoncé, looking out to sea, felt the green necklace pulsate in her chest. A voice whispered in the wind, in Creole, "Nous libère," we are free. And so Miami learned. Heroism lies not in the spotlight, but in the roots that hold the earth, in the hands that dig secrets, in the songs that heal fissures, and in the seeds that a hurricane cannot uproot. Beyoncé, the Queen of Solidarity. The spotlight has never been enough to define Beyoncé. To the world, she is the star who fills stadiums, the voice that echoes in hearts, and the figure who transcends genres and generations. But to those who really pay attention, Beyoncé is more than a pop icon. She is a force for change, a symbol of resilience, and above all, a woman who understands the true meaning of solidarity. From a young age, Beyoncé understood that talent without purpose is just vanity. Raised in Houston, Texas, in a home where community has always been a fundamental pillar, she learned from her family that success is not measured only by the trophies on the shelf, but by the impact one leaves on the world. This teaching became the foundation of her life, guiding her to use her voice not only to entertain, but to inspire and transform. The root of generosity. In 2017, when Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, Beyoncé didn't hesitate. While many saw only destruction, she saw the need to take action. She returned to her hometown not as a superstar, but as a daughter concerned for her community. Together with her foundation, Bay Good, she distributed food, provided shelter, and helped hundreds of families start over. However, her most powerful gesture was not financial, but human. She showed up, looked people in the eye, held shaking hands, and offered words of hope. This wasn't the first time, nor would it be the last, that Beyoncé would show her solidarity. Her commitment to social causes is intrinsic to her identity. Whether it's promoting girls' education in Africa, advocating for racial equality, or supporting essential workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, her presence is constant, if often quiet. The weight of the crown. Beyoncé's compassion doesn't come without its challenges. Being a symbol of strength and generosity also means carrying the weight of expectations. Her every gesture is analyzed, her every action interpreted, and yet she remains steadfast, knowing that her influence can change lives. The pressure to be perfect is no small feat. Society expects Black women to be strong, resilient, and always ready to heal the world's pain. But Beyoncé is also human, and perhaps it is precisely this humanity that makes her so extraordinary. It is not just about what she does, but about how she does it, with genuine love, without seeking recognition, just the certainty that, by touching a life, she is fulfilling her mission. Solidarity in art form. Beyoncé's art is an extension of her struggle. In Lemonade, she takes us on a deep dive into ancestral pain, but also into healing and resistance. In Black is King, she celebrates the grandeur of African culture, providing representation and pride for millions of people who had never seen themselves reflected in such splendor. Each video, each verse, and each melody is imbued with the desire to uplift and empower. Solidarity is also about making room for other voices. Beyoncé understands this deeply. Throughout her career, she has always used her platform to highlight Black artists, women, and marginalized communities. She not only shines, but she illuminates paths so that others can shine too. The Queen's legacy. If time has taught us anything about Beyoncé, it is that her story is far from being just about music. Her legacy is built on silent gestures, the tears she wipes away, the voices she amplifies. There is a scene, little publicized, that perhaps sums up who she really is. One night, away from the spotlight, Beyoncé sits next to a child who has lost everything in a natural disaster. No cameras, no press, just her and a broken story. "It's going to be okay," she whispers. And in that moment, perhaps for the first time in a long time, the child believes. Ultimately, this is the true essence of solidarity, being there when the world falls apart, offering hope when all seems lost. And Beyoncé, our queen, has done this day after day with the grace and strength of someone who knows that true power lies not in being admired, but in making a difference. What about you? How does Beyoncé's story inspire you? What is the greatest act of solidarity you have ever witnessed or performed? Share your thoughts in the comments and help spread more love around the world. Because as Beyoncé teaches us, we are most powerful when we stand up for each other. How does Beyoncé's story inspire you? What was the greatest act of solidarity you have ever witnessed or carried out? Share your thoughts in the comments and help spread more love around the world. Because, as Beyoncé teaches us, we are most powerful when we stand up for each other. Hurricane Lazarus did not warn. It arrived like a thief in the morning, tearing off roofs and memories. Dona Celeste, 68, watched from the window of her apartment in Little Haiti as the flood swept away everything. Photos of her dead son, her mother's wedding dress, the recipe book she had hoped to one day leave for her granddaughter. When the waters receded, all that was left was the silver chain Beyoncé had given her the first Christmas they worked together, still clasped around her neck, like a last thread of hope. Meanwhile, at Ocean View, Beyoncé watched the chaos on TV. His heart froze when he recognized the flooded street. It was the same path he had walked when he was 15, taking soup to Dona Celeste when she was sick. She's there, alone, he thought, his hands shaking. Without notifying security or advisors, he took the car and plunged into the storm. The scene she found would mark her forever. Dona Celeste, sitting on the steps of what had been her house, holding a rusty pan. "I brought your green necklace. Hey, I was afraid of losing it too," he said, holding out the object like a child offering a broken treasure. Beyoncé didn't say a word. She knelt in the mud, took off her high-heeled shoes, and put on the old cook's sodden boots. "Come on, Grandma," she whispered, using the nickname only she was allowed to say. In the mansion, Dona Celeste turned into a ghost. He walked through the corridors, touching the walls, as if he were looking for something lost. Beyoncé, in turn, discovered that the tragedy was greater. A loan shark named Carlos El Tiburon Mendez had exploited the elderly woman's vulnerability, using her name in a debt scheme. The amount was $200,000. "I'll pay," Beyoncé said, standing in Carlos's dingy office. "But if you ever bother her again, I'll tell the world how you traffic in hope." Charles laughed, showing gold teeth. "You're just a singer, honey. Me, I'm the shark that eats the little fish like her." But he didn't know that Beyoncé carried a tape recorder in her pocket, the same one she used to compose songs at 3 a.m. The recording was leaked. Carlos fled to Mexico, but not before Beyoncé publicly burned the debt papers at a charity barbecue, using the St. Michael medal that Dona Celeste had given him at graduation as a lighter. The party to rebuild Dona Celeste's house was a political. Beyoncé transformed the Ocean View Garden into a slice of Haiti. Women selling pain patat from stalls, men beating rara drums, children painting walls with the names of hurricane victims. In the center, a huge table with the dish that Dona Celeste taught Beyoncé to make, soup joumou, the yellow pumpkin that symbolizes resistance. When the spotlights came on, Beyoncé took the stage holding the restored recipe book, pages taped, together with gold tape coffee stains transformed into art. These aren't just notes, they're maps. Maps from a woman who crossed the sea to teach me that cooking is, her voice broke, is giving love in the form of food, even when you have nothing else to give. Dona Celeste, wearing a dress made from scraps of her destroyed clothes, went up on stage. Without ceremony, he took the microphone and sang Le Kai, a Haitian song about returning home. Beyoncé, who has never cried in public, let the tears flow freely. Chapter 5. The Letters That Tew. The wind didn't carry in Dona Celeste's new house, a turquoise cabin in Coral Gables. There is a special bookcase. In it, there are 3 objects. The green necklace that Beyoncé returned to him, now with a new bead, carved from wood from a tree felled by the hurricane. A photo of the 2 of them in 1995, with Beyoncé wearing an oversized apron and Dona Celeste laughing with a wooden spoon in her hand. A never-sent letter, written by Beyoncé on the night of the hurricane. "Dear Miss Celeste, if I ever forget where I came from, remind me that my first crown was made of tinfoil and your hands. If I ever feel afraid to sing, remind me of the girl in the closet and the woman who left the door open. You weren't my cook. You were my first producer. Your bae." Epilogue. The legacy that sprayed from the mud. Today, Hurricane Lazarus is a scar. Miami. But in Little Haiti there is a mural of Dona Celeste holding a pot as if it were a trophy. Beside him, Beyoncé is painted as a little girl sitting on his shoulders. In the caption, a phrase in Creole, "N'oublieras où," don't forget your roots. Beyoncé, who has filled stadiums and broken records, says her greatest pride is something else. Every Friday, without a fan,